First and foremost, you have to make sure you're in position. What does your portfolio look like? Is it up to date? Are you checking all of the boxes? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you already subscribed, I appreciate you. If you're new, welcome. I'm just getting back off of vacation. I was in Belize for a week. It was dope, great weather, just to come back to this cold shit, but it's all good. So we're getting back on track with the videos. I'm trying to keep these things rolling. So recently I did a shoot for my brand, Send Deposit, and I was going over all of the processes, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit stressed. It was a little bit of a different position to be in, instead of just being the photographer for the shoot and actually planning this thing from both ends of it. So that kind of put me in position to where I was thinking, should I maybe use another photographer? So then I was thinking, if I were to hire another photographer, what I would have to keep in mind if I were them doing the shoot for me. And it's kind of like this Inception type of thing, where it's like I'm the shooter and I'm thinking of the shooter, not me being the shooter, but shooting for me who is a shooter. It was weird, but nonetheless, I came up with a few things, and I wanted to share a few things with you guys for people that are interested with working with brands. And that seems to be like a hot topic. How do I land brands? How do I shoot for brands? And I think it's more simple than it may seem. Not easy, but simple. First, you have to have something unique about your work. You have to have something that makes you stand out. If your work looks like every other photographer's work, then what separates you from the crowd, right? If the brand that you're reaching out to already has a creator or creators in place, where do you fit in? How do you fit in? Can you fit in? So I think positioning your portfolio to land your ideal client is key, which I cover in my ebook, which is dropping next week. So make sure you guys click the link down below and you can be notified when that comes out. But your portfolio needs to reflect the type of work that you want to book. So not to say that you can't shoot other things. You can shoot whatever you want, but what you want to book is what you want to put in your portfolio. That needs to be your front page, and that's what's gonna draw the attention to you. I shoot a little bit of everything, but my portfolio doesn't reflect everything that I shoot. It reflects what I want to be booked for, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and jump into a few essential things when it comes to shooting for brands. So first is kind of knowing the difference of what you're shooting for the brand, right? And this is also something that you can bring to the table for the brand if they're not taking this into consideration. But you basically have two options here. You have your e-com, which is your photos for listing on websites and everything, just simple photos. They're typically just on white and simple so you can see the product. And then you have your campaign. Now this is gonna be more so for the advertising aspect and marketing material. And why I say you can leverage this is because a brand may approach you and they're asking for a shoot for one and may not know that they need the other. So if they're hitting you for campaign and all of their examples of what they want are this, and they have outdoor location, that's great, but then they also got to list those products on their website. And within their website, you typically don't want your photos to be over distracted with the background. You want to keep the viewer on the product. So that's the point of shooting on the white. So it's just your focus is on the product. So if they don't have one, they may need the other. This is where you can leverage yourself to maybe extend the time being booked, and also adding value by offering these other services that the client may not have even been thinking of, right? So the main thing, like I say, is being able to leverage yourself, leverage your business, and land those clients. And by doing this, you're adding value. You're able to upsell them into a higher tiered package. So know the difference between shooting for e-com and shooting for campaign. Like I said, if they don't have both, or if they're not asking for both, you can offer that as another service and up your fee for doing so. So the second thing is you want to make sure that you research the brand. You want to make sure that the concepts that you're coming up with are on brand with what they have. They don't have to be exactly the same, because this could be a different collection. They may be trying to go a little bit of a different direction, but you also want to make sure that you're not shooting a completely different style than what the brand is already presenting on their website or on their social media. Check into the lighting, the posing, the colors, the types of models that they're using. You want to make sure that your lighting is consistent with the type of lighting that they use. Are they using high key? Are they using low key? Is it natural? Like, all of these things come into play when you're branding. So you have to keep those things in mind to make sure that their brand is cohesive from front to back. Now, you may not have to handle that. They potentially could be coming with that. They could already have an art director in place. If so, then that just makes your job easier. But if not, you've done your research and you still know what to do on your end and for your position as the photographer for that shoot. Number 3 is plan for efficiency. Make sure that you have a plan in place to move as efficient as possible. I'm huge on efficiency. I like things to be fluid. I don't want a bunch of hiccups. I don't want a bunch of step aside and have these long meetings because you didn't think of something beforehand and it's slowing down the process. Time is money here. Everybody that's in this building, everybody that's on this set is getting paid to be here. Now, you don't want the delay to fall on you. It can fall on somebody else, but you want to make sure that on your side, you have a solid plan and you thought of everything that you needed to in order for you to perform your job the way that it needed to be performed. So this is taking things into consideration, like coming up with a concept, doing your brand research so you can come up with that concept, digging for inspo, looking for shots and creating a shot list for what you're going to be shooting, looking for a location if it's not studio based. And if it is studio based, then maybe you're finding the studio that it needs to be shot at, creating a vision board or mood board with your inspiration so you can have a feel of what you're trying to shoot. These are all things that you need to take into consideration in the planning phase. Now, like I said, some brands that you may work with, depending on how big the brand is, may have an art director, and that art director may have a lot of these things already in position. But if not, you want to make sure that you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed. For this shoot, we probably started planning maybe a month or so in advance, and it was definitely a process trying to think it through thoroughly and creating the concept, because not only did I want to construct the concept, but I also wanted this to be an experience at the same time. So I was trying to create an experience and a concept at the same time. So it was a little bit dynamic in that sense. Not to say that that's going to be every shoot. This is just where I wanted to go with mine. I wanted everybody that was in the building to be involved in the experience of the shoot. So we had things going on outside of it, as well as the actual photo shoot at the same time. So it was a pretty dynamic thing going on. Number 4 is keep it simple. Sometimes, probably most of the times, less is more. Don't go out of your way to overcomplicate this process. Don't make the shoot be anything more than what it needs to be. Even if it's conceptual, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. There's no need to overdo it. There's no need for tons of props and tons of shit going on in your shoot. Now, if that's what they're presenting to you that they want, that's up to your discretion. Even with working with the brand, as the creative, you should still have some type of say, so you can still recommend what you think may or may not be a good look. Now, what they end up going with is 100% up to them, but it's still up to you to use your expertise and say, I don't think that's gonna look that great if we do this, or at least present them the things, the pros and cons of what it is that they're trying to do, just so they're aware of it. Last thing you want is for them to recommend a whole bunch of crazy shit and then the shoot doesn't come out that great and it falls back on you. At least by you letting them know up front what the complications could be or what may not look so great, you're putting the ball back in their court. So don't be afraid to give a little bit of pushback on things that you don't think are gonna look so great. they'll probably appreciate that more at the end of the day when you're using your expertise to assist them with their vision. Lastly, don't forget to focus on the product. I've said this before and I will say it again. I've seen too many images where the product is just completely lost and you're literally just looking at a photo that might have great aesthetics, but you still don't know what you're looking at. And at the end of the day, we're trying to sell this product for the client. So rather that be clothing as shown here, you want to make sure that you're getting a full body shot. You want to make sure you're getting 3/4 back, close-ups. You can show the textures, or maybe it's not even clothing, but nonetheless, you want to make sure that you are presenting the product in the best way possible. Do not let the product get lost in the sauce because you're trying to overdo it with crazy lights and all these additional props that are taking the attention away from what the viewer is supposed to be looking at. If you're trying to sell clothing, then you should be showing the clothing. You should be showing the brand name. You should be showing how the clothes fit, how they wear on the person. So all in all, this really can be a simple process. Position your portfolio to give you the leverage to land the ideal client. Who do you want to book you? That's who your portfolio needs to be targeting. You shoot everything else, and maybe you're sharing that somewhere else, but wherever your portfolio is at, wherever the majority of your inquiries come through, you want that work to reflect the ideal client that you would like to book you. So you may need to set up some shoots to build out your portfolio the right way. Just make sure that you're going into these situations with the leverage. You want the control. You want to be able to control the situation and the outcome. So that's all we have for this one, y'all. I just wanted to keep it short and sweet, get to the point. I don't want to give you guys a bunch of extra shit to focus on. Just dial in your portfolio, land the clients that you want. In my ebook, I cover all of this in depth. That launches next week. Depending on when you're watching this, it may already be out now. If so, click the link down below. And since we're already seeing it in the video, make sure you guys check out the brand, senddeposit.com. This is my brand. This is designed for people like us. This is designed for the creators. We want people to respect what we do, respect our authority and our position with what we do and our time. I've dealt with it enough myself over the years that I've been doing this, and I'm pretty sure a majority of you guys can relate that people will waste our time if we let them, and we're not having that no more. So check out the brand. You guys get an exclusive 20% off because you rocking with me and you made it to this point in the video. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what's some other things that you want me to talk about. You can tell me down in the comments so we can get some of that stuff going. We can have a conversation. You guys let me know and give me feedback, and I'll let you know the things that I know. It's simple as that. But yeah, until the next time, y'all.